how the buyout with WBD can benefit a new company and restore the Snyderverse. What's going on, everybody? Hit that subscribe, hit that hype button to help the algorithm in the video. Buy my comic book, show your support. Thank you for everybody who's been showing the support. And let's get into this. We already know that this buyout is going to happen. There's no and, ifs, or buts. And we already know that all the James Gunn fanatics are upset because they know that their days with the DCU won't last. And we know that everything with this reboot has not been working. Now let's focus, as usual, about how it can benefit and it can help restore the Snyderverse with the movement that we've been fighting for years. I will tell you how this is going to benefit and help out any new company, whether it's Comcast, Netflix, if it's going to be Paramount, Skydance, whoever. The point is that there is money on the table. For years, after Zack Snyder, walked away because of the incident that happened with his family and, with his daughter, R.I.P. to Autumn, let's look at it. Warner Brothers kept on getting in the way, and they screwed up everything, trying to be like Marvel. Till this day, still trying to be like Marvel, because we see that James Gunn is constantly coming out and trying to do everything like Guardians of the Galaxy, and it hasn't worked. How come they haven't been making money? Their stocks have been down. You cannot blame Zack Snyder and stop blaming Zack Snyder. He has nothing to do with it anymore. It's been years he hasn't been there. Now let's look at this perspective. You might be asking yourself, how is this going to benefit whoever buys the company? Very simple. Once they announce that, hey, look, we're buying Warner Brothers Discovery and it's going to go under whoever is going to be the new, company to own it, the people that are in there know that there's a huge demand. They know the numbers, the statistics, and they know everything that has to do with what the consumer wants. All of these companies have done their research. They know about shares, they know about investing, what's going to be a risk, whatever it is, right, with the numbers. Don't think that they're not aware and they don't know that there's a huge demand still after all these years for the Snyderverse and the DCEU. They know that that's what people want, and they still want it. It's not working with James Gunn. It hasn't been working with James Gunn, and it will never work with James Gunn. At this point, even James Gunn, as the CEO of DC Studios, doesn't care about these characters. He said it before. He has said that he doesn't care about these characters. Therefore, it's proven to you that he's the wrong person to be leading Warner Brothers with DC Studios. With Zack Snyder, he had a plan. David Ayer, he had a plan. Patty Jenkins, she had a plan. James Wan had a plan. All of these directors, creators, they all had a vision, but it was all connected. The problem was that Warner Brothers kept on getting in the way. The studio kept on saying, let's do this and let's do that. And all they did was ruin all the plans. Zack had a plan, and everything started building up, especially leading into future events, opening the door with Zack Snyder's Justice League. We know that that was a global phenomenon. For it to be a global phenomenon, that's telling you that that was a massive success. With James Gunn, that's not happening. It hasn't happened, and it will never happen. Accept the reality. The reality is that with James Gunn, nothing is being accomplished. All they're doing is losing money, and everything keeps on flopping because everything that he's been putting out has all failed. Nobody is watching, barely anybody supporting it, and the chump change that they're bringing in is costing them because of the debt that they have. On the contrary, with Zack Snyder, with Man of Steel, a movie that came out over 12 years ago at the time of this recording, made profit of $55 million extra. And this is 12 years ago we're talking about. Meanwhile, Superman 2025, it lost between 42 to 55 million, probably more. What is that telling you? It's obvious. With James Gunn, there's no profit, there's no money. With Zack Snyder, with David Ayer, there's money, there's profit. How come McFarlane put out 2 crowdfund campaigns, one being with Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman, and it got funded in less than a week. It raised the money, and by the end of the campaign, it surpassed the numbers. And how come now, recently, at the time of this recording, they're doing a crowdfunding, and it's almost complete from David Ayer's Suicide Squad, from the DCEU, projects that are over 10 years ago. What is that telling you? That it sells, it gets funded, it gets supported. People want it. There's a high demand. People are still hungry for it. Meanwhile, with James Gunn, nothing is happening. They're costing and losing the studio and the company money. In plain sight, we already know that once the new acquisition of whoever ends up buying Warner Brothers Discovery will profit, because they have so many IPs within DC. Not only that, they have so many different IPs also. That's the main one that we're focused, because that's the main one that brings them in a lot of revenue. So you don't think that these companies are aware that there's money on the table? Of course. And they're willing to put it all on the table. When you have Paramount making the first offer of $60 billion, that is insane. That tells you that these, companies are willing to invest, to buy it and take it all. And that's how it should be. It's always about money. We, the fans, deserve and we want good quality. And these companies that are all right now about to start bidding, they know how to give the customer, the consumer, and the customer what they want, and especially the fans. They know how to please us, and that's why they keep on making money. Meanwhile, Warner Brothers hasn't been doing that. They've been losing money, and nothing is working over there. Besides DC, nothing is working. Nothing has been working. And so what? They've made a few IPs $1 billion, and it's still not saving them because of the debt that they carry. Once this buyout happens, it's already proven James Gunn will no longer be the head of DC Studios, because the new leadership, whoever it is that's coming, they want change. The industry needs to change, and times again are changing, because we want quality back again. All that goodness is going to make a comeback, and it's happening. They're cleaning house in Hollywood, and we need that. This entertainment business is very important. All of these things are happening. Once that buyout does fully complete and is fully announced, guess what's coming right behind it? They're going to have to go back to what was working. Even if they want to do something new, even if they want to do something different, as long as Zack Snyder is directing, the Snyderverse lives. Say what you want, but that will be the beginning of, once again, quality with the Snyderverse getting restored. What are your thoughts? Hit that subscribe, hit that hype button, show your support, buy my comic book, and until next time.